Seems like destiny. That's really awesome. Kody sack. It's like a knife to the kidneys. Welcome to the Fifth Wife.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fifth Wife, a Sisterwives recap podcast. I am your host, Brianna, and much like Robyn Brown, I am the unwanted wife with the unwanted opinions. But unlike her, I do know. I do know what my answer is, and I do know what I'm talking about, Kody. Oh, I just don't know. Oh, Robyn, the entire title. I just don't know. I don't know how to answer literally any question, Kody. I don't know. How am I supposed to know? What? Or we have Kody. Well, listen here, Suki. I'm gonna shut you down right now because maybe I did have a sick thought or two about one David Woolley. Maybe I did want to take him on a little guy's trip. A little broke back mountain style. You ever seen that movie? It's about two cowboys, Suki. Okay? Maybe a lot of movie talk here. Maybe that should be my new movie. Maybe that's the movie that describes my life, but I'm not gay, Suki. Okay, sorry, you guys. Welcome to the podcast. I had to get that off my chest because how fucking weird that was of fucking Kody Brown. Robyn is just seemingly not knowing how to answer any question at all ever, even though this is a show about her life and can't account for the things that she said or the things that are going on in her ex-sister wives' lives. It makes no sense to me. Literally, zilch, zero. Doesn't make sense. Before we get into it, though, you guys, let's do some housekeeping, go through a little business. I want to remind you, if you're watching over here on YouTube, hello, welcome. Please like, comment, subscribe so you don't miss out on any videos that are to come out. That all helps me very greatly. If you're listening over on any podcast platform and you want to watch, it's just me sitting here in my living room talking, but feel free to head on over to my YouTube. It's linked down below in the show notes. But if you are an avid listener, please do not forget to hit follow for the show. Automatic downloads help me out so much too. So we're trying to inch our way to that 1,000 listens a month. So please help me out with that. Share with your friends. I appreciate you guys always. Also, we are doing weekly lives over on TikTok, about 30, 45 minutes. And then I record my episode. Unfortunately, the last night I'm recording this next day on Tuesday because I had to record my my Patreon poly family episode. So we're getting this one just a little bit late here, but nonetheless, we're getting it and it's gonna get fucking good. Usually when on my rewatch, I skip all the tell-alls because they are so boring and have literally nothing in them, just like Kody jerking himself off basically, and all the wives in solidarity. And they suck. So this though is giving absolutely everything. Everyone is so unhinged. It's amazing. Meri though, I do need to let her, girl, you need to know to worthy up. Can we I look naked. I'm not. Okay, there we go. Now I don't look naked. Meri needs to take her own advice, okay? And girl, worthy the fuck up. Stop being a little Miss Pick Me. Stop trying to get Kody to notice you and be his favorite. He does not give a single fuck about you. He literally doesn't care. And he is just doing this to Meri in an effort to have her be on his side and not be one of those other wives that are talking trash about me through the gossip mill. Okay, Suki. Um, and it's just so blatant, but she just doesn't see it. And it's really sad. And it's like, girl, you'd be much better off with Christine and Janelle, being friends with them. But who knows? Let's see. Let's count how many times that or Janelle can be like, I just don't like them. I don't want to be their friends. I don't like them. I don't like them at all. Anyways, you guys, let's stop yapping about the episode and let's actually get into the recap here. Okay, one-on-one part 2. We jump right back in and we're back into the failure conversation that we're having with Janelle and Kody being an absolute failure as a polygamous man, as a husband, and the ego conversation. Janelle just is like, well, she explains that he was not equal with his time, but he was able to meet everyone's needs. And then like during COVID, kind of that's where everything started to completely unravel and fall apart. And this is exactly what we saw too on TV. And this is where I think that the wives couldn't get away from that because it was just so blatantly obvious in her face that Robyn was the one pulling all the Kody strings. They were all her rules because she was so scared of the COVID-19 Kody. Oh, like her poor salmonella. He had a HRSV once. Yeah, like and oh, truly, yeah, she had kidney failure. It wasn't your fault though, Kody. Don't worry. No, it was just like a touch of flu. I remember it was like almost like a touch of flu, Kody. Anyways, and like I think, well, anyways, it was so blatant for the wives, and Janelle mentioning this was amazing. She mentions though that they had this conversation during COVID with Kody, and he just ended up telling them, like, well, you guys don't all get along together. I'm tired. You don't like each other. You're just gonna shorten my lifespan. Okay, I gotta be around. I got a little girl, Areola, that I gotta take care of. Okay, I gotta be around for. I'm gonna be 75 when she graduates college. Yeah, Kody, that's what happens when you have a kid when you're older. Okay, this wasn't a shock when Robyn got pregnant with her. This isn't like, okay, we're not getting into that. Anyways, now we're back to Christine. And she's just like, okay, you know what? Yeah, he is a failure and it's a problem because for him, because he lost all of his wife. That's on him. You meet a polygamous man where all of his wives left him. It's not their fault. It's a him problem. And yeah, that's like, Robyn, you got the prize, babe, quote unquote prize. Because everybody left Kody and now you're left with him. But the thing is that nobody wanted him anymore. They did for a long period of time. And now everyone's just like, okay, he's a shitbag. Like, bye, we're done. We're done. And Christine also mentions, she's like, well, he puts it all on us for leaving, but like, you know, it's him and whatever. And like, yeah, Kody is such a dumbass in this episode, he fakes taking accountability. He's like, well, Soki, what if I just, said this and like, I did this? And she's like, yeah, Kody, that's actually good. That's accountability. And we'll get into that later. But if Kody actually did that, he would become a better person and a better husband for Robyn. And I don't understand how he doesn't think that it's his fault. Like at all. Like the women just woke up one day and chose, I'm not, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to be here anymore. No, it's because of your actions, what you've been doing to the family, what you've done to all of them, Janelle's kids. Like, anyways, now we bump over to Robyn. And Robyn's like, or Suki's like, oh, so he's like, did you like being called a sacred cow, Robyn? More, I don't know. I don't know. Haha. Whatever. I don't care. I don't know. Girl, you so fucking care. Like, if that is not the overarching thing of this entire episode of Robyn pretending not to know and not to care when she clearly is so pressed and so upset, I don't know what is. I don't know what is, babe, because she is so obviously bothered by this, and this is a joke that now is in their house. So that like Brianna, who is just so funny, like, oh mom, like more, like they all have this inside joke of Janelle calling her that. And instead of like dwelling on it, be like, oh, like why did they call me that? No, I'm not that. No, like plausible deniability at all times because I'm not that. And then Suki like comes in and she's like, you know what, Robyn, do you feel that Kody has like any bias towards you? Like, do you think that at all? This is on the hills of the clip of Janelle and Kody in Josephine's attic having that meal together, and Cody's drinking that red wine with a fucking omelet like a serial killer, and and Janelle's like, listen, like Robyn, you spend all your time there, like you do this, you do that with Robyn, and then she's like, and it's really funny that Robyn knows about a conversation that I exclusively had with her, and somehow she know, oh, don't go down this road, Janelle. We're not going down that road. And it's like, why not? Like, oh, because we can't talk about our sacred cow more. Because she's so important. Janelle's like, okay, look, we're not gonna have this conversation then because I can't be open with my feelings that I'm having an issue with because you're not listening to me. And after watching that clip, Robyn does not think that there is any bias at all. Suki asks her this and she goes, and she looks left. She's like, my my camera might be mirrored, so I am actually looking off. She's like, I don't, Kody, I don't really think so. I don't know. And Suki's like, well, do you feel safe telling Kody everything? And she's like, yeah, I do. And then Suki's like, well, why don't you think it's the same for Janelle? Well, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why. And he's like, well, with Janelle, he completely shut her down, like in that conversation. He's like, yeah, like, oh, Kody, like, I think there's a lot of like focus on me. And like, I get really tired of it, Kody. And like, I wish everyone would focus on like their own relationships, like, and not focus on me. And like, can we just for a moment talk about how the fuck she can say this? How she can seriously sit there looking Suki in the eyes and being like, no, there's no, Kody, there's literally no bias. And like, I don't know why Janelle can't tell him everything when she just showed him a clip of Janelle bringing up actual feelings to Kody and him not taking them seriously because it had the word Robyn in it, and she cannot remove herself from it at all to feel bad for Janelle. Robyn only feels bad for Robyn. Robyn only hears her name and be like, oh, they're talking about me, Kody. They're not talking about you. They're saying you're spending all your time with Robyn. Why don't I get that? It's because you were the blueprint for Kody. And if we're supposed to believe what they said last week, which obviously they're fucking liars, but if we're supposed to believe their story that they said of Kody is Nala. My dog is making a bed. Come here, baby. Hold on, I'm gonna pause so nobody. Oh, she's lying down already. Perfect. So if we're to believe last week what Kody and Robyn said of Kody being like, oh, well, I tried to lift everyone up to what Robyn was. So you're automatically putting everyone else underneath Robyn and making Robyn the blueprint, the gold standard. So why wouldn't her name be brought up in relationships if that's what you're saying? If that's what you're saying that they need to be like Robyn, why wouldn't they then compare themselves to your little sacred cow more? Like, why wouldn't we? That doesn't make any sense for me. And like, she is so unbelievably unlikable, and I don't understand why why is she lying to the audience faces, like to Suki's face? Like, there's no way that she doesn't know that he is a bias. And like in my head as a viewer, I would like Robyn more. I would like Kody more if they were just honest. If like, if they just owned how shitty they were, it would be way more likable. It'd be like, oh, like, yeah, no, that makes sense. Like, yeah, you guys did get closer during COVID. Oh, of course you would. But no, I don't know why. Like, I'm just like, I am just the proud family scapegoat, Kody. I just like don't understand, And then we go pop back to Janelle. And Janelle says something here. She's like, everyone wants to blame Robyn. And like, yeah, she's a huge blame here, but let's listen to what she says. She's like, which it takes two. So she's saying, yes, I see you guys online. You guys love blaming Robyn, which she is not at fault here. She is also at fault. But Kody, what she thinks is that Kody villainizes, as Kody would say, himself. To take the blame away from Robyn. Suki's like, we're about to be cooking. Janelle is thinking we're back in her front room, just two gals chit-chatting it up. And Suki's like, whoa, how villainous. How does he villainize himself? How villainous are we talking here? She's like, well, he's rewriting history. And then Janelle like doesn't really like finish this thought. She's like, how the kids, he wants to just focus on himself. I'm like, Janelle, what about the kids? What about the kids? What like expand? Say more, like that one fucking therapist on Max. Say more about that, like, which I think this probably has a lot to do with Garrison's passing and how horrible he is to the kids. But maybe Janelle doesn't want to go that deep into it. But like, please, like, let's fucking talk about it. Let's get into it. Then Janelle mentions these accusations. Can I talk? Am I having a stroke? Let me Google that really quick. Janelle mentions these Oh my God. accusations. And she stands up for Robyn here and she's like, I really do think Robyn wanted a plural family from the beginning. And she helped build the family to what it was. Now, my issue with this is I think that Robyn thought she wanted a plural family. She thought she wanted to come in and have this huge family until she had it and realized how much work it is. She came from a monogamous relationship where she was just her and her husband. The only focus was on her. So coming into this, where she was the favorite wife or that young hot wife, she loved that. She never had to struggle. But I think realizing how much shit she had to deal with the kids, with everyone's kids, with her kids, that it wasn't just an automatic babysitter for her, it changed things. It changed things in a way that she was not expecting. Because what we know from her mom and the way that she grew up, her mom was like basically having an affair with a man, allegedly. And her quote unquote stepdaddy would just visit them on the weekend. So she didn't really know what it was like to grow up in a polygamous household with multiple moms. And like, this is it, babe. The standards were we're gonna get on another tangent here, but the standards for Robyn since the beginning were always different. She didn't have to live in the one big house. She got to have always the first house, the brand new shit, the best. She never had to like struggle like, the other women had to. And that's where kind of Janelle was going with this. Starts saying then like, oh, Janelle's like, I never remember Kody being this mean. And she's like, he's rewriting history again. And he is like, which is what we all said. And I bet it's so validating for Janelle to like see everyone online talking about, wait, that didn't happen that way. And for them not to feel like gaslit into thinking that their memories were fake, because I'm assuming that's what was happening for so long with Kody, and they couldn't just like nail him on it. And then everyone is like, no, he literally is gaslighting you. Like, and everyone hates to use that term, but he was. And where are we here? Before COVID, oh yeah, but I've already said this. Before COVID, the ladies had lost proof of it happening. So now this is like, this next scene with Kody is so egregious. Cody's like, yeah, look at that Suki. She mentions Robyn's name over and over and over. And now they're going to Kody, and he was saying that about the clip where Janelle and him were in the attic at Josephine's. And why does she include Robyn? And Suki's like, hey, maybe it's because, remember that divine love that you guys had for each other? Remember we just mentioned that? Oh, the self-respect that she has. Well, maybe that's because she's mentioning it because you guys have that special love that she wants to get. He's like, no, Suki. Listen here, Janelle's just using that as an excuse, okay? And we need to fix our relationship, just me and Janelle. And he goes into like, well, my relationship with Robyn hasn't been affected only by my reactions to the other relationships ending. Like, are you like that dense? Like, are you like that smooth brained, Kody, to not realize that, I mean, your relationship has been affected by the other ladies? Because Robyn goes little scurrying back over to Kody. Oh my God, Christine was literally so mean to me. Like, it was just so mean. It's been affected in ways that have helped you. The relationship with the other ladies has only helped and improved your relationship. It hasn't gotten bad because Robyn has always been, the victim, Kody, and you've had to save her and protect her from the other big bad ladies. And she's been the blueprint, like I've said for the past episodes. You've held her up. Your relationship won't negatively be affected only because of the way that you act and the way that she's manipulated Kody into thinking that. And it's just, it's just insane. And so here we go with this whole thing with Kody. And he's like, or so he's like, yeah, like Christine felt abandoned. And he's like, well, all I gotta say to Christine is via con Dios, we were good together, and now it's over. Why are we, Kody, via con Dios, Godspeed? can we stop saying stuff like this, please? Like, I know he doesn't mean it in like a racist way, but like that's how it's coming across. When does this ever come up in Kody's life where he feels the need to say via con Dios? Like the fuck? And Suki is like, you know, Suki is the emotionally intelligent person that Robyn so claims to be. And she's like, Kody, Christine felt abandoned from you. Wouldn't you think that you should at least have a conversation with Suki, or not Suki, she's not a wife, with um, Christine to see why your relationship ended? Wouldn't that be better? And that would improve like your next relationship so that doesn't happen again. And like, duh, like that's why like when we have a breakup conversation with someone, like we always like, why did this happen? And like typically you're supposed to like be better than after that, right? You'd think. Kody's goes into an octave that only Christine herself can reach when singing "Let Me Call You Sweet." I'm just like, no, Suki, no. And Suki continues to say, well, like, you shut down Chris or Janelle for explaining how she felt too. And then we get like this horrible flashback of Kody saying, like, you know, Robyn was safe for me this past 2 years. Yeah, because you left everyone for her. You took what she said for COVID, ran with it, and stayed at her house because, oh, she has a tender age child. Oh, because a little areola. What about Truly? What about Savannah? Like, they don't matter. So Truly and fucking Salmonella are the same age. Like, which this is a conversation for another time. And Janelle was like, well, I wasn't as important, and so she plays this clip. He's like, listen, Soki, I'm gonna shut you down right now. All right. She's like, no, you can't. No, you can't. He's like, yes, I can. No, you can't. Well, Suki crosses legs. I don't have to answer that question, Suki. And Suki's like, okay, you want to be a goddamn baby? Like, be a fucking baby. This is you being a little fucking bitch baby boy, not wanting to answer the question. Answer it. Okay. Whatever. Absolutely loved when she called him a baby because it was like this grown ass man is literally sitting here throwing a temper tantrum, which I think in the past he's gotten away with because the last tell all he's like, we're not going into that, Suki. Listen here, Suki. Like going into that again. And I think like this season, she's like, I'm fucking coming for blood. We're not doing this. I'm going to say everything so I don't get fucking flamed for the next year on my Instagram comments from the Sister Wives fans. And then this is where we go. Kody gets his like fake ass accountability and fake ass apology to Suki. And he's like, I would do this. I would do that. And Suki's like, okay, well, that's great. You just took accountability. He's like, his face just drops. He's like, oh, fuck, did I actually just do that? And she's like, that's great. And he's like, yeah, well, I'd love for them to give it back to me too. Oh my God, like you're so close, Kody. Like you're almost there. If it didn't sound so kind of fucking sending. Like, my God. So now we jump back to Janelle. Suki is like, this is where Janelle literally cannot stop saying how much she does not like Kody and Robyn, how much she does not want to be their friends. She's like, oh, so he's like, oh, like, do you think, you could ever be friends or like, with Dumb and Dumber? And she was like, maybe, I can be friendly with them, but like, I really want to have a relationship with them. Like, there's no hard feelings. And like, I just don't really want to know them. So he's like, okay, give me examples. And she's like, I don't want to be buddies, I just don't need it. I don't want it. Like, I just don't want to know them. I just don't really like them. Like, I don't like who they are. I don't want to be, around them. Like, I just don't know. I don't like them. And it's like, she's saying, like, I'm not going to, like, I don't want to be in their presence. And, like, this is obviously after Garrison's memorials and, like, where the alleged thing in some incident that McKelty hinted at happened. So that it took that for Janelle. Well, she also mentions that her and Robyn have never been close ever, which we know because it's like their age gap and like their personalities are so far from each other. And it's just like, this scene is just amazing. She's like, I just don't like them. I don't like them. I don't want to know them. I just want to imagine Kody and Robyn like watching, like, oh, she just like doesn't like me and my kids. Like, oh, that's literally terrible. Like, I don't understand what I did. Robyn, you ruined this family, is what you did. Finally, 20 minutes into the show, we get Meri. Mary's like, hey, oh my God, and starts fucking laughing. She's like, oh, I know where we're going, Suki. I know where we're going. We're gonna go to that scene where like my ass went right into Cody's dick. Yeah, that was like the first, well, yeah, the first time I touched his dick in years, Suki. And she's like, oh, I gotta explain this. And then we get the clip of Suki, or of the whole moving Meri from Flagstaff to Parowan. And, you know, we're watching Kody watches, and he's fucking laughing. Christine's laughing. And then Robyn pops up on screen. And she go to the time remaining 31 left. She's fucking livid. She's trying so hard to like laugh this off. She has this ugly ass witch smirk on her face. She's like brushing her hair uncomfortably, like smirking through it. And Kody had to go home that night. Explain this to Robyn, and he probably was like Sean, explaining the whole like vasectomy and having, or the whole sex thing that him and Taya did in the morning. And he's like, oh, this is a funny story. He was sleeping on the couch that night. Kody was in the fucking dog. How could you let Nathan? Kody, well, I was going with Kody. How could you let Nathan literally like sexually harass you like that, Kody, with Meri? Like, what? So post clip show, Meri and Suki, she's like, oh, let's talk about the bump and grind. Well, no, let's get into it, girl. And she's just like, Mary's like, oh, it was just awkward. I was just laughing because it was so inappropriate. Like, it was funny. Like, it's just Meri with, the two guys. And that's why it was just so funny. And like, we were just like, so good together. Because it was like me, like my brother-in-law, and like my ex, like it was just great. Like, so funny. Go then to Christine and David. And this is what's pissing me off too. Like Christine, like David is just appearing. We never got him introduced. He just appears, disappears, appears, disappears. This entire like part 2 of the tell-all, which like is driving me insane. But that's just something that I noticed. They think it's super funny to watch, and David thought it was funny. And Christine makes a joke about Kody being like all fucking torn up about it being sexual nature. She's like, he defines himself as Robyn's husband. And we know this, like, because it's his Chiron. Like in the show, it's like Kody, Robyn's husband. That's his identity, is Robyn's husband. And she's just like, just laugh. It was a joke. It's not that serious. Like it doesn't mean that you want to go home and fuck Meri. Like, it's fine. Like, laugh. Now we're into Kody, and he goes into this manic talking head. He's like, like it's my best friend Nathan, of course. Okay, Nathan's my bestie. And I was just like, Nathan, I just want to punch you in the throat. I was like, Nathan. Nathan, I'm gonna literally, I'm gonna punch you. You better fucking stop. Nathan, my body belongs to Robyn. Nathan, I'm gonna fucking punch you in the throat. You just ruined my the only person that's touched this fucking 6-pack abs and tight little ass is hopefully going to be David Woolley. And of course, Robyn. This was insane to me because this just completely showed that Kody was so scared of Robyn seeing this clip and like really letting us know, like, oh, like I was really upset by it. Like I really didn't want it to happen. I really didn't want her to touch me. Like, okay. Like, again, we all can see that this is a joke. Like, again, it's not like you had your hard dick out and shoved it into Meri. Like, it was a clear, like, it was the most basic joke that you could make at that time, and it was made. So, haha, he. Let's move on. Robyn. So he's like, did that, like, how was that watching that for you? Like, were you bothered by that? Like, um I don't know. It was like kind of like, I guess, I hadn't drawn the lines at that point after I saw that, Suki, and it might be a little different because that was very inappropriate. But the lines weren't drawn, so I don't know. I didn't really worry about it, Robyn, we saw your face. There is not an ounce of me that believes that you were not bothered by it at all. You were smirking, you were upset, you were uncomfortable, And this is why we love to make fun of you, because you literally don't know how to take a joke. You are insane, and it's just crazy. Anyways, so she then goes into this whole like, oh, like this banter though, like I was used to it, like it was normal for them. Like, remember, like when I was saying like, oh, there's a chance, Cody, oh, like Meri, like that's an open door when he made you that s'more, like Cody, like Meri, like seriously, like this is what I was seeing, like this is how I would see them. I loved when they were like this, and like, it was great. She's just trying to find herself out of the lies that she told earlier, because Kody then comes in a little bit and was like, "Oh, well, no, I haven't seen Meri like this in, years. Like this is the first time I've seen her like this." And I think it was because of the divorce, and she just felt a weight lifted off of her. So Robyn is still actively lying to us, pretending that we are that stupid to believe that this is how Kody and Meri were all the time. No, they weren't. They were not. And we pop then back to Christine, and she calls Kody an asshole for telling Meri that, this is who he wishes he was married to the entire time, which that is like a very asshole thing to do. And we get the favorite ex-wife comment. Christine laughs this off. She's like, okay, this girl's fucking insane. And David's like, well, let's just like, oh, let me get my David voice. Well, Christine, that's just like a little word, because like ex and favorite like should not go, in the same sentence, Christine. And it is weird. It's just, more control over Meri that Kody is trying to do, because he knows that she's the little Miss Pick Me. And it's just like, I don't know. It's like, Meri, worthy the fuck up. She's like, yeah, Suki, like, I literally, no, I love being the favorite ex-wife, because have you seen those other bitches? Yeah, they're just talking shit left, right, and center. I'm not. Because I got his back. Did he have your back, like, ever during this entire show? No, he has literally never had your back. He talks horribly about you. Even when he says, he's like, we're not talking about each other anymore. Proceeds then to talk the most shit about Meri possible. And like Kody like gives her the bare minimum, and she just like accepts it. She's like, oh, okay, I can't be his favorite wife, but you know what, I can be his favorite ex-wife. And Suki asks her like, oh, like, how do you feel about like the comment that he made, like, oh, I wish I could have been married to this Meri? And she's like, well, no, like, oops, going to Robyn. No, he like missed out. He doesn't get this. He doesn't get this me anymore. And he would have realized if he came over. Meri, worthy up. He knows he's not married to you anymore. And that's why he said it. He does not want to be married to you. And this isn't him saying that he misses you at all. Now we get Janelle back. Okay, because she's been missing for quite some time. Janelle pops back in for Meri, and it's very brief. She talks about the catfish, but then she brings up something really important here. She's like, it's so dangerous to say how we were at 25 before all the pressures, before, all the kids. We were broke. All this shit is so, dangerous to compare that to how we are now. They are not the same. And Kody 2.0, Robyn got to marry him. And it'd be very different. If I married Kody 2.0, things would be so different too. But Robyn doesn't get that. Even though in the beginning season she loves to say, oh, like, thanks for making him this way. Like, it wouldn't be possible without Meri, Janelle, and Christine. Like, it wouldn't be possible. He is the way he is because of his wives. And I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you to them. Anyways, she doesn't get that. Like, she thinks that she's also had the same struggles, and like, just because she's now been in the family for 10 years. You haven't. You literally haven't. Like, they had to go through the worst times all living in the same house. Like, you did not have to go through that at all. Sorry guys, like I just got a phone call, my AirPods just blasted in my fucking eardrums. Anyways, so we're now back to Kody, and Kody says, before the big problem, the catfish. Okay, Meri was very antagonistic with him, which we've seen her being like just very, shutting herself out from the family and just having a really poor attitude and just kind of like all those things. And like Meri brings an energy to the room, as Christine says later on. But he says, this is what I was saying earlier. I'm sounding like Robyn with like my words all going together. This is what I was saying earlier when Kody said, Meri now it wasn't until Nathan was there and we were at Meri's, and we were moving her that she was no longer antagonistic. And I'm like, Robyn's a fucking liar then. Okay. Because that's not true. According to Robyn. So which one is it? Can you guys get your stories right here, please? And he's like, Meri, was when I'm free and forgave everything. No, that's not what happened. Not at all. He then goes to say Meri and him had a great experience. But like, we need to talk about this though, because they Meri and Kody like always say that they're in a rough place. When they started this show, they're like, oh, it was like, it was okay, but then we were in a really rough place when we met Robyn. And then once after Robyn, we were in a really good place. Then they went back into a rough place. Then they proceeded to be in a rough place for the last 10, 12, 15 years. They'd only been married for 30 something. And they said the first 10 years of their marriage were really rough too. So when were they ever in a good place? When were they ever in a great experience? Like, when? I don't understand this. And he says the same thing with Janelle. He's like, yeah, we were, we had a rough 10 years. And then guess what? We were a renaissance in Vegas. Like, when were these people ever good? I just don't I don't understand. And that makes me think like, oh, are him and Robyn ever in a good place? Or maybe they're in a really shitty place, but it's the best place that he's ever been with any of the other, other wives. Now we're back with Suki. And she asks Robyn, she's like, well, why, what do you think the whole conversation, that Kody had with Meri with the crying and all that was confusing for Meri? I don't know, count 1,000. Oh, I don't know. I asked him, Suki, and what he told me was like, why? And I was like, cause I was like, why? Like, why are you guys breaking up? Like, I don't understand. Because you could have this. You could have figured things out. Like, why are you so emotional then? Why? And this was grilling to me to be like, or grilling him to be like, well then, you're still emotional about her? Like, why do you want to be with her then? Like, do you really want to be with her? Like, if you're that emotional? And not in the way of oh, you should still be with Meri. It was possessive. It sounded possessive. And I was like, okay, emotional abuse coming in. And then Robyn starts doing her acting skills here again. He said oh, it was the end of an era. And I was just she does this frown that goes into her neck where her neck expands. She's like, and I was just like, okay. And her voice goes so high pitched. What is that sentence? The way she talks and the way she forms sentences, I'm like, do you have a singular thought ever in your brain? Because it's all, oh, I don't know. And then I was just like, oh, recounting something. And then I was just like, okay. You get nothing from this lady. Nothing at all. At all. It's so fucking weird. Meri then, we're now to Meri about asking her about this conversation. And she's like, I was so confused, what was happening here? Kody's crying. And then and we all said this, as this episode aired, we're like, oh God, here goes Meri back, being like, oh, Kody, there's a chance, he's crying. It was so confusing for me. No, it's not. He's just crying because he feels bad for himself that he failed. It's not that he feels bad that it's the end of an era of you guys. It's that the last wife that is going to leave him has left. And that's why he was crying. He looks like this little fucking boy with his backpack on, crying, hugging his mom on the first day of school. He couldn't wait to get the fuck out of there. But he was just sad for himself, not for losing Meri. Not for losing Meri. And this is where she gets confused with it all. And it's just, again, she needs to listen to Just Jen on that front and that advice. We go to Christine and she's like, it's disgusting. She's like, Kody, turn a mirror on yourself. You ended this era. You picked favorites. You try to gaslight us and pretend you didn't. And you were playing a game the entire time with us. And Christine can see exactly what, he's doing to Meri. And Christine, Meri needs Christine in her corner. She needs someone that, not a friend, but someone that lived that life with her that she can talk to about it so she can, get all those feelings out. Talk about, oh, I felt like I was crazy and this happened. I felt like this was happening. There could be so much healing in that if they allowed it to happen, if they allowed themselves to talk about it amongst each other. Um, and then we talk about like Christine's like, it's most valuable or honorable position, I guess, at the wedding to walk Meri down the aisle. And like, obviously that's disgusting. And Meri just is like, oh no, he's not walking down the aisle. We know he doesn't even want to walk you down the aisle. He just said that. Like again, it was just Kody just spewing his fucking bullshit. We're back with Meri, and she's like, yeah, Kody texted me a couple weeks ago, and this is him 100% buttering her up because he tells Meri, he's like, I'm just, mourning our relationship. And now Worthy Up Meri comes in. She's like, you don't get to tell me that anymore. You don't get to put that on me, Kody. Okay? You don't get to do that. I get to let you know that you can't do that. And she's like, he can grieve. Yeah, but I don't have to be responsible for it. Yeah. He's just, again, buttering you up to make you think that he's still thinking about you guys. And this would have worked on you, I don't know, last year. But now it's quote unquote not, but it's still, you were still trying to be their Kody and Robyn's friend throughout this entire thing, which doesn't make literally any sense to me, like at all. And Kody then tells us, he's like, I don't ever need to reconcile with Meri. And Kody, shut up. Again, a weird way to say that. And he goes on this like word salad like binge of biases that people have, that people on the internet have that are against him. And it just goes on this roundabout thing. And I'm just like, what are you even saying, Kody? Like, you're making literally no sense. And it just like, it ends with him just being like, that's why we can be friends. What? What? It doesn't make any sense, like at all. Anyways, so now we get Suki asking Kody about like, oh, how was it meeting, David and whatever, and he is uncomfortable to talk about this, and Kody is going to do everything in his power to prove that he wasn't uncomfortable, you know, during this meeting and gaslight us, the audience and Suki, to be like, no, it wasn't uncomfortable. No, not at all. No, no, no. She's like, yeah, it was pretty awkward. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was. Let's watch the clip. He's like, no, we're not. No, I don't want. We don't. How about we don't watch the clip, Suki? How about that? And she's like, no, we're watching the clip. Fucking, we're watching the clip. And then Kody goes, well, it's not uncomfortable because I'm not meeting her new man, but it's just uncomfortable because like we're around the kids. Like maybe that's why. And like with the potential of an overwhelmingly handsome individual. Kody, tell me you're gay without telling me you're gay. It's Pride Month, Kody. It's Pride Month. Let's come out. Let's come out of the closet because that is gay. You are gay. You are gay, and I really, really believe that. And now this is where Kody or Suki calls out Kody for being awkward and not as pleasant as he was saying. He's like, no, no, you know, I don't know. I don't want to fuck David. I don't, but like we should have went to dinner. But I'm not comfortable with Christy. I was more comfortable with David. And he's just going on and on about this. And Suki's like, well, no, Kody, I was awkward and weird. Let's get into it. He's like, no, yo, listen here, Suki. Suki's like, let's watch the clip. No, let's skip the clip. Kody, this is your J-O-B job. Okay. I know you're unfamiliar with having a job, and besides selling, but it's your job to watch these clips and answer the question. You gotta do it. If I didn't do my job, yeah, I'd be fired. So let's watch the clip, Kody. And then Robyn's like, just like looking away, like, oh, and then she like goes back to looking, like playing with her hair, like oh, Kody. And then it ends, and we see that very cringy moment, which as fans, we all agreed it was the most cringy moment where Christine like lays her head down on David's shoulder. And like, you didn't need to do that. Like, we get it. This is your man, babe. This is your man. And Cody's like, see, it was cringy from beginning to end. It was fucking cringy. And I want her to do great because guess what, Suki? I want her to have great courtship, great relationship. You know why? Because he's like, oh, that's great. And he's because that means that she stops trash talking me. Suki's like, oh my god, Kody, you almost had it. You literally almost had it. That is so backhanded, Kody. And he's like, well, it's the fucking truth. I love their courtship because it lets me relax. Because they're not crap talking me. And Robyn, it's like, Kody, like, just say I'm happy for Christine because it's an old friend. End it there. I'm happy she's like going after the love that she has looked for her entire life. End it there. You don't need to be brought into every single thing. Granted, he has another thing coming for him because if he logs onto Instagram, which we know he's online, he's on Reddit, he's on everything. So he knows about the nachos. He knows about Christine's incessant posting her weird hashtags, hashtag in his arms, hashtag David Woolley, hashtag strong man, hashtag the father that stepped up. like I don't know. We know he's online. So and it doesn't stop Christine from talking about Kody at all. And so Robyn answers this question, and she's like, it doesn't start with I don't know. She's like, oh, like, you know, it added a layer of complication for like me to be there, but you know, I don't know. Like it's as divorced people, you have to you want them to stay away from everything, okay? And I'm like, yeah, sorry, like you share kids, you share a life, like, Kody, like whether you're doing it in a nice way or not, like you have to have them in your life. If this isn't the pot meeting the kettle, oh Robyn, I want to introduce you to someone. Hi, David Preston Jessup. You ever heard of him? Oh, that's your kid's father that you tried to immediately push out of your kids' lives, ripped the kids away from him, where they were only seeing him, forcing your kids to call their new stepdaddy Kody daddy instead of Kody like they wanted to, having their stepdaddy adopt them because you're living out the fantasy that you wanted to when you were a kid and giving it to them. Are you fucking kidding me? This is such an insane statement for Robyn to make. My jaw was on the floor with this one because it's like, you did that though. You pushed your ex-husband out. I'm sure that Dana or Brianna don't have you two in the same room ever together. So you do not get to say that. What your experience is, what, that you had to drive your kids to Montana for Christmas sometimes? And that was doing the quote unquote right thing? Girl, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. That pissed me off literally so badly. And then she goes, oh, and also Kody doesn't go red. Like, no. So these two watched this episode. He's like, Robyn, did I go red? I didn't think I fucking went red. Like, da da da. Like, he's fucking punching holes in the wall during that part of the episode. And she's like, oh no, he doesn't go red. He's like, have you seen his complexion? Like, he's literally always red. Yeah, that's called like a perpetual suntan. Hope get some SPF on this guy and probably all the testosterone that he's allegedly taking. Okay, all right. So that scene is finally over. Christine is then like talking about her and Meri, and she's like, they show the clip of her at the baby shower, or no, Gwendolyn's engagement, sorry. And she's like, it's so much better on the other side. It's so much better on the other side. Like, you're gonna be okay. And Meri, again, mispick me, I don't know. No, because like I still love him. Like, it's not better on the other side. And then Meri's like, well, I'm just very distrustful of Christine. I didn't, really, take that totally in. And it's like, why are you distrustful of Christine? What has she done to you? Like, let's talk, like, Suki, let's talk about that. Why are you distrustful of Christine, where you wouldn't want to believe her and wouldn't want to be her friend? And Meri is like also doing the thing that Sean from Poly Family does. Like, he's just like, she wants to be mad about something for so long, and when someone apologizes, she still makes them feel bad for it instead of being like, she wants them to keep doing more and saying more, like after the apology and after she already accepted it. And there's like, what out, like she just wants the fight to like keep going on. And she says this thing that like drives me fucking nuts. She's like, it'd be really sad, like it would take a lot of work for us to be like friends, and like it'd be really sad that like it took all of us like going through this breakup to be in a room together. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. That would make complete sense because, as we know, and as you guys said, and as we've seen, Kody pitting you guys against each other, gaslighting you, loves talking shit about each other to you guys. Okay. Imagine, Meri, the shit talking sesh that you could be in with Christine and Janelle, and the bonding that you guys could experience if you talked about your collective experience that you guys all had together with Kody. Only you guys and not really even Robyn, know what you've been through. You guys can say sorries and move on and be this little girl squad. Like what happens with people who, that like meet when their boyfriend's cheating on them and they become best friends. Like I when I was in college, I was really, really good friends with my my boyfriend at the time, his ex-girlfriend. Her and I became really, really close, because we shared a mutual abuse that had happened at the hands of him. So it was an easy, you bond over those things. And like I would just want to be in that room to hear that shit talking. And like it would make them feel all so much better. This is like solidified like the pick me ness of it all with Meri. And it's just like just annoying. So now Suki asks Kody, if he wants to know David, and he's like, you know, Cody's like, I'm a very forgiving person. No, you're not. No, you're not. I think your wives would say otherwise. I think Christine would say something else, but whatever. And he's like, this is where we get the dirty thought. He's like, Suki, I enjoyed David's company. Yeah, I did. He's like a manly man, and I had this dirty little thought about David. If I was to be like, expand on that, please. And he's like, we'd go on a boys' trip together, broke back mountain style. I hear they have some houses in Moab. Damon likes to go to Moab. And you know, it'd be really fun. And then he's like, well, then I thought, no, that'd be an uncool thing. It'd be an uncool thing to do. So maybe not. Maybe, And she's like, well, how about a double date? He's like, maybe in the future. Maybe if we get there. And then Suki brings up the whole eye contact thing that like Kody said in his confessional, where he was like, oh, David just kept looking at Robyn the whole time. He just kept talking to Robyn and whatever. And he's like, yeah, no, people, Robyn's just really easy to talk to. Are we looking at the same person? Because I don't know. I just don't know. She has been able to. Suki is probably like, what the fuck? I haven't been able to talk to this bitch all year. Like for the past couple tell-alls, she does nothing besides to pretend to cry, which we haven't seen this episode, which is like, what's going on? And she just doesn't know. So like, how is she so easy to talk to? Like she can't answer a fucking question. And he's like, and then then we go to Christine and we start talking about this with Christine. She's like, yeah, in another world, like they could be buddies. And Suki mentions the whole boys trip of it all. And they just both bust out laughing. I could imagine that this is like now a classic joke in the Woolley household. And she's like, yeah, maybe. And Dave was like, yeah, I think that'd be cool. I mean, some of the roles would have to change. And then Suki's like, well, what kind of roles? He's like, well, it's between me and Kody. And Christine's like, well, there's a lot of nervousness around it because Kody says all these things about me that just aren't true. Like I was smack talking, talking about Robyn. I talk shit about the kids. And like, you'd think if he was married to me for 26 years that he would know me even a little bit. And that's not me. And he doesn't. And he's right. He knows Robyn. That's the person that he knows and he's gotten close to. And you know who did do that? Who smack talk her ex-husband? Who talks shit about her ex-husband in front of the kids and to the kids? Robyn, in my opinion, obviously. So anyway, so now we're getting to the end of this part 2, and this is fucking crazy. So now we pop back to Suki talking to Kody, and we need to note that I believe people on Reddit found that this is 2 weeks after Kody was served with child support for Truly, which he should 100% be giving to Christine. Like that is no ifs, ands, or buts, like at all. And so Suki, and this is crazy juxtaposition of how this could be, hours later, or days later, with how they film this tell-all, but how for minutes for us earlier, he is like so giddy about the possibility of going on a guy trip with David and potentially going on a double date with them in the near future. Suki tells Kody, Christine would be up for it if we could fix it. Remember the convo we had, the Brokeback Mountain style thing? And Cody's like, no, that wouldn't be cool. And she's like, well, Christine said she'd be up to it in the future. Well, we haven't healed. We haven't healed. And Suki brings up a question that's all on our minds. Well, have you guys seen each other to do that? Like, have you done, like, seen each other at all to like start that process? Because it gets easier. And he's like, yeah, maybe not. And like has this insane look on his face. Like it actually, like, it was like looking through my like soul. Like it was scary. It was giving Ted Bundy. Okay. And she's like, well, why not? He's like, personal reasons. Christine undermines me, so I can't do that. And then Suki's like, well, why don't we just like meet her where she's at? Why wouldn't you just meet her? Like she said, like we could do this. Like, why wouldn't you want to just meet her there? Literally be easier for everyone included if you just met her where she's at instead of holding on this grudge. Remember, you're super forgiving because you just said you were super forgiving, but now you're not. Make it make sense. And this is great advice. Kody's sitting there in silence, just like staring off, just silence. And she's looking at him. He's looking at her. And then he does this motion where he just like takes something and just like throws it on the ground. And she's like, what was that, Kody? And he's like, a hair. She's like, oh, I thought you were like taking something and throwing it away. He's like, no. So he's like, Kody, you're in an interview right now. I'm just trying to understand. He says nothing, just staring. She's like, are we gonna do a stare down here? And he's like, I have just nothing to say, Suki. I'm like, this was so unbelievably awkward. I love that they left this in for everybody here to see and see how insane this man is, how he goes from all the way up here, all the way down here. He is so all over the fucking place with his emotions, with the thought of Christine. He hates this woman. And like, I mean, I think he just hates women in general, in my opinion, of course. But it was insane. I'm so happy, like I said, that they left this in. And I can't wait for part 3. I mean, guys, we have 2 more full parts of this. And I guess we're not getting any talkbacks this season at all, which is kind of sad because I do like, watching them react to the clips. I would have loved watching Janelle react to the clip of Robyn saying, oh, I just like managed my money better. So like, I don't know, like maybe Janelle should have just budgeted more. Anyways, you guys, we're at the end of the episode. Write in the comments where we think we're going to be going next season. What do we think is going to happen? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this episode down below. Feel free to message me on whatever, email me, whatever you guys want to do. We're all here. Check out my Patreon, you guys, for this week. We're doing Robyn's wedding. I guess I should have mentioned that at the beginning of this episode. I can't believe I didn't. Robyn's wedding, and when Meri basically comes in her panties over giving Robyn the culattering, and them doing the wrong addresses. So can't wait to get into that, you guys. I always remember, I love you all, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.